Okay, moving on. I'm not going to let you up here, Kat. I don't know what you're thinking. Whatever it is, I want you to get it out of your mind. Moses answered, "What if they do not believe me, or listen to me, and they say, 'The Lord did not appear to you'?" Now, God just said that they would. He just got done saying the elders of Israel will listen to Moses. Moses is saying, what if they don't? Then the Lord said to him, "What is that in your hand?" "A staff," he replied. Now, God, of course, is not asking this because he doesn't know what that is. He wants Moses to say it. The Lord said, "Throw it on the ground." Moses threw it on the ground, and it became a snake, and he ran from it. I'm not sure what kind of snake. A poisonous snake? A constrictor snake? Don't know. It's something that he ran from. Something that he didn't want any part of. Then the Lord said to him, "Reach out your hand and take it by the tail." Maybe it was a rattlesnake, I don't know. So Moses reached out and took hold of the snake, and it turned back into a staff in his hand. "This," said the Lord, "is so that they may believe that the Lord, the God of their fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has appeared to you." So this is a sign that he's going to perform in front of the elders of Israel. Then the Lord says, he's going to give him another one. "Put your hand inside your cloak." So Moses put his hand inside his cloak, and when he took it out, it was leprous, like snow, or the skin was peeling off. I'm not sure exactly what kind of skin disease that was, but whatever it was, apparently his skin was all flaky and peeling off. "Now, put it back into your cloak," he said. So Moses put his hand back into his cloak, and when he took it out again, it was restored, like the rest of his flesh. Then the Lord said, "If they do not believe you, or pay attention to the first miraculous sign, they may believe the second. But if they do not believe these two signs, or listen to you, take some water from the Nile and pour it on the dry ground. The water you take from the river will become blood on the ground." So he's giving him 3 signs to perform. One of them is going to do the trick. Moses said to the Lord, "O Lord, I have never been eloquent, neither in the past nor since you have spoken to your servant. I am slow of speech and heavy of tongue." The Lord said to him, "Who gave man his mouth? Who makes him deaf or mute? Who gives him sight or makes him blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go, I will help you speak and will teach you what to say." So Moses has continues. Again, up until now, when he started this conversation, it wasn't necessarily obvious that he was trying to wiggle his way out of going. But now he's run out of excuses or alternative ideas, and so he's just going to say, "Moses said, 'O Lord, please send someone else to do it.'" Then the Lord, so he doesn't really want to do it. In the last 40 years, he's gotten quite content being a shepherd here in Midian. His days of trying to lead the Hebrews were done. He had like one day of that. Way back when he was 40, he went out to see his own people and kind of spent one day pretending to be their leader. And he's had enough of that. Then the Lord's anger burned against Moses, and he said, "What about your brother, Aaron the Levite?" We haven't heard about this guy before. "I know he can speak well. He is already on his way to meet you, and his heart will be glad when he sees you. You shall speak to him and put words in his mouth. I will help both of you speak and will teach you what to do. He will speak to the people for you, and it will be as if he were your mouth and as if you were God to him. But take the staff in your hand so you can perform miraculous signs with it." Let's go ahead and read a little bit more here. Then Moses went back to Jethro, his father-in-law, Earlier on, we called him Ruel, so he must have had more than one name. And said to him, "Let me go back to my own people in Egypt to see if any of them are still alive." Jethro said, "Go, I wish you well." So he's not like Laban, who didn't want to lose who didn't want to lose Jacob. How handy Jacob was here. Jethro was willing to let. Jethro was basically a good guy. He's a priest. We saw earlier that he was a priest. I don't know what he's a priest of. I'm not sure if he, I mean, at this point in time, God didn't actually have priests. Now, Melchizedek appeared way back in the days of Abraham, and he was a king and priest of Salem. But the priesthood of God won't be established until a little bit later on with Moses, or with Aaron, actually, Moses' brother. So I'm not sure if Jethro is a priest of God or a priest of some other God who also happens to believe in Moses' God. I'm not really sure. Jethro is not portrayed as being a bad guy, so I don't know exactly where he fits on the scale. But he is not like Laban, who didn't want Jacob to leave, who contrived to keep Jacob there. Jethro is willing to let Moses go just fine. Now the Lord had said to Moses and Midian, so part of their conversation, which we didn't actually hear when it was recorded first time, is, "Go back to Egypt, for all the men who wanted to kill you are dead." So Moses took his wife and sons, put them on a donkey, and started back to Egypt, and he took the staff of God in his hands. This is going to be an okay, so one thing we have to be careful of here, because this is going to start to mark, I should say, to mark the start of a pattern where the text is written sometimes in a past sense, in that, okay, so this conversation of the Lord telling Moses it's safe to go back to Egypt because the Pharaoh who wanted to kill him, and I guess his associates, are dead. We didn't read that in that conversation earlier in the chapter. When that conversation was happening, that little tidbit of information was not included. We know that it was part of the conversation because it is mentioned here, but it was written. That conversation occurred. That exchange of information occurred as part of the conversation they were having at the burning bush, and it just wasn't included for whatever the reason in that particular conversation as it was written. So this is going to be, and this happens a lot actually in this upcoming section, as Moses is relating these events that happen at different times. You have to be really careful to pay attention to the text, because there are going to be these moments where we're going to kind of jump out of the time sequence to talk about something else that happened or was said before where we are in the current timeline. So just keep that in mind, that the flow of events up from now to the Exodus is not going to be straight in order. There's going to be some jumping around in terms of some of the things that happen, or some of the conversations that happen. The Lord said to Moses, "When you return to Egypt, see that you perform before Pharaoh all the wonders I have given you the power to do. But I will harden his heart, so that he will not let the people go. Then say to Pharaoh, 'This is what the Lord says. Israel is my firstborn son. And I told you, let my son go, so that he may worship me. But you refused to let him go, so I will kill your firstborn son.'" That's basically a preview of the entire next upcoming sequence of events. At a lodging place on the way, the Lord met Moses and was about to kill him. So Moses didn't want to have to go. So I guess this is going to be a way for him to get out of going, huh? But Zipporah, that's Moses' wife, took a flint knife, cut off her son's foreskin, so they were not circumcised, and touched Moses' feet with it, or drew near Moses' feet. "Surely you are a bridegroom of blood to me," she said. So the Lord let him alone. At that time she said, "bridegroom of blood," referring to circumcision. So basically, Moses' sons were not circumcised. They should have been, but they weren't. And they're not 8 days old either. They are, or he is, Gershom. You know, he's, see here, where does Gershom mean? Goes back. I don't know exactly when Gershom was born, but he could have been born as much as 39 years ago. So he is not an 8-day-year-old infant, and he was not circumcised any day like he was supposed to be. So this violation of the covenant has got God coming after Moses until it's rectified. Interestingly enough, Moses didn't even circumcise his son when he set out for Egypt. He apparently it had to be done sometime along the way by Moses' wife. Just an oversight, I guess. I'm not sure why Moses didn't do that. But the Lord said to Aaron, so remember him, we mentioned him a moment ago, he's Moses' brother, go into the desert to meet Moses. So he met Moses at the mountain of God and kissed him. So I guess as Moses was leaving, Aaron was arriving, and they met at the mountain, or at the base of the mountain, or something along those lines. Then Moses told Aaron everything the Lord had sent him to say, and also about all the miraculous signs he had commanded him to perform. Moses and Aaron brought together all the elders of the Israelites, and Aaron told them everything the Lord had said to Moses. He also performed the signs before the people, and they believed. And when they heard that the Lord was concerned about them and had seen their misery, they bowed down and worshipped.